Good evening, everybody. It's March 17th, Thursday, March 17th. It is St. Patrick's Day, one of my favorite holidays, and I know it's one of yours too.
It is. I love green, so the fact that I get to wear as much as I want with no one judging me is pretty awesome.
I like green too. If you're not wearing green, you should put green on right now so you don't get pinched by anybody. Well, I'm student meteorologist Matt Reagan.
And I'm student meteorologist Rebecca Bennett.
We've got a good show today. We've got a lot of weather that came through earlier, including a severe thunderstorm warning that I think caught us by surprise a little bit.
It did. I was just sitting in my friend's office and all of a sudden the alarm went off and it scared everybody in there.
Yeah, if you were on campus during the severe thunderstorm warning around noon today, you heard the alarms go off. Hopefully you heeded all the warnings.
Yeah, because there's a lot of lightning. You could see it from every single window.
Yeah, I was looking at the lightning map as well, and there's lightning all over the place. So this is why you should seek shelter when there is a severe thunderstorm warning, because lightning is a possibility.
Yeah, lightning is no joke.
No.
You do not want to mess with lightning.
No, even though lightning can be cool to study,
it is cool to study.
but not on a full college campus. But as we did say, it is St. Patrick's Day, a big day for the Irish. Also a big day in college basketball, too.
Oh, yeah, college basketball.
That's a face of a bracket that's already been interrupted a little bit.
Baylor had to ruin it. Baylor had to ruin it.
I had Baylor too. So we'll talk more about college basketball here in just a second, but you're going to be giving us a quick overview of the entire show because we got a good one here.
Yes, I am. I am so excited to be doing this. You can see that the rain that we had earlier has now moved on to the east, but that does not mean that it is over for tonight. We could possibly see some more severe storms as we move in. And as we're going to continue here, those storms you see over here during the bigger picture, all the way to the east. Now you see all these storms that are coming from the west. Those could be impacting our area tonight. St. Patrick's Day, like I keep saying, not your lucky night. 62 degrees, showers are likely, winds not too strong, but they are still there. Weather headlines for tonight, what we're going to be talking about. Rain started this afternoon that we all saw with the warnings and the rain that everyone was walking in when they were going to class. That rain is not going to be stopping anytime soon. You got a wet weekend ahead. But good news, sun will come out on Sunday, so that's always great. You're going to want to get out and enjoy that considering we're going to have rain for the next couple of days. So you're going to want to take advantage of that. So now as we continue on through today, we're just going to keep talking about basketball, right, Matt?
We are going to talk about basketball, and I think that today was a big day. We have a lot of games coming up later tonight as well.
Yes, we do. I'm really excited for those. Hopefully my bracket doesn't get even more destroyed.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. But Baylor, I think we both had Baylor to win.
Did.
Yale had the upset.
They did. Great game.
Really
close.
I'm concerned. What's your final four?
I have Kansas,
Okay.
Oklahoma, UNC, and Virginia.
Virginia. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of like the matchup of UNC and Virginia.
Sounds like a good matchup. I also agree with everything except for Virginia. I think I'm going to go with Michigan State on that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're like my dad. My dad's the exact same way.
I think Michigan State's going to do it. I think OU's going to run for it as well. I think it'll be a really interesting couple weeks here of March Madness.
Yeah, well, it definitely will be.
Yeah, a lot of screaming at televisions. So keep it down, everyone. We've got a full show here. We're going to send it on out to Andres Moore to talk about some weather.
Indeed, and what weather we had today. I was just sitting in the RAC library earlier, and the alarms went off, and it was saying that we had a severe thunderstorm warning.
I didn't know.
And a lot of people just got quiet and looked around at each other. But please, whenever we have those alarms going off on campus, stay indoors, don't go outside, don't go running to your car because they're going off for a reason. And I saw a lot of people doing that earlier, and I was trying to tell them, just please stay calm, let the storm pass. So if that ever happens again, please stay indoors, don't run off. But today, currently in Tallahassee, 72 degrees. Dew point is 66, and the humidity is 82%. It is very icky out there, folks. There's a lot of moisture in the air, and that's why the reason we have these storms coming around. Very, very icky air out there right now. Current temperatures around the Big Bend. We have 70 in Monticello, 69 in Carabel, 70 down in Apalachicola. The temperatures are pretty uniform across the area. But as we zoom out into the satellite and radar view, we can see that there's a stationary front that's sitting right around here in the southern part of the country. And the reason behind that is because we have the subtropical jet and the polar jet that are kind of converging here along the stationary front, and it's conducive for all this lift that's happening and all these strong storms that are coming across our area. But as we move on, looking ahead, we can see that the stationary front that I referred to earlier is going to meander along. It's going to move just slightly. But for us here, what does that mean in Tallahassee? All it means is that as the time goes on, there are the chances of rain are going to increase as we go into Friday and also into Saturday. You can see that the storms are starting to develop here across Tallahassee, and it's going to continue on until about Saturday night, Sunday morning, whenever all of this front just moves on out of our area. But on the sand, the winds are to the south at 10 miles per hour. The surface 2 feet or less. So I wouldn't go out on the beach right now with these storms around. But if you want to take the chance, go out there and enjoy yourself if you can. But for tonight, it's going to be 62 degrees. It's going to be very humid, very, very humid night, and rain is very, very likely. So please, folks, keep that in mind as far as if you're going to go out and celebrate tonight, St. Patty's. Make sure at least you have an umbrella with you. But for tomorrow, it's going to be 76, 90% chance of rain, mostly cloudy. This stationary front is going to meander along and stay with us for the next couple of days. So the chances tomorrow is going to be 90%. It's going to be a very rainy day tomorrow. So please take that in consideration as well for your plans tomorrow. So what to wear on these next couple of days? Well, tomorrow, rain jackets. Saturday, rain boots. And as I said earlier, this front's going to be out of the way by Sunday, so it's going to be pretty cool. We're going to have a little bit of a cool trend right here. But as these earths fall down, we're going to see into the 7-day forecast that Friday and Saturday we got chances of rain at about 90 to 80%, but come Sunday and after that, the chances of rain go down. The temperatures dip down a little bit, but it's springtime, so they're going to jump right back up. But for now, I'm going to pass it right back. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to pass it to Margaret.
Andres, zooming out to look around the southeast, it's pretty cloudy across the entire southeast. If you're looking for any sun more than a little ray peeking through here or there, you got to go all the way down to Key West or up to Wilmington, North Carolina. Other than that, clouds dominating the entire southeast. 72 degrees here in Tallahassee, getting up to 86 degrees in Orlando, or even down into the mid-60s in places like Tupelo, Little Rock, and Shreveport. But overall, it's cooling off. This time yesterday we would have been hovering around 82 degrees, so it's a lot nicer now. Actually even higher than 82, looking at that 24-hour temperature change, would have been up at 86 degrees this time yesterday, so it is so much cooler now, and all that's thanks to the rain and cloud cover. Down south, they haven't cooled off really at all down Miami and Key West, hovering around the same temperatures as they saw yesterday. But if we look at other places like Shreveport, they're 13 degrees cooler than they were yesterday. So that front that's coming through, it was a cold front earlier today, now it's a stationary front that's causing those temperatures to drop. The wind speeds, relatively calm through most of the southeast, although we do see winds in Orlando 16 miles an hour there, 18 miles an hour in New Orleans, winds really blowing there. So if you have any plans to head out there, make sure you've got some way to keep your hair tied back, or if you're sensitive to something like windburn, be prepared for that. Looking at the radar across the entire southeast, we have been seeing storms across North Florida and much of Mississippi, with some other isolated storms through South Alabama, and those have been dumping a lot of rain, and some of them have been severe, so it is very important to keep an eye on any alerts from the National Weather Service to know when they are severe. And even if they aren't classified as severe, just be cautious when you're out and about traveling. Those storms, however, have not resulted in any airport delays. We've got all these green airplanes with zeros next to them. No airport delays across the entire southeast. So the skies are still clear in that regard. Looking to the rest of the weekend, though, with our Futurecast radar, those showers are going to be sticking around. Tonight, 62 degrees here in Tallahassee, warmer down to the south and cooler up north. And tomorrow, we're going to be seeing more of that rain throughout the entire southeast as we reach a high of 78 here in Tallahassee, similar temperatures around elsewhere. But now let's send it off to Matt.
Thank you very much, Margaret. We're looking at really warm temperatures here in the southeast and much of the country as well. It's starting to transition into that spring period in between spring or winter and spring, whatever you'd like to call it. And that is, of course, the big transition period a lot of the northeasters like to see, especially going from the really bitter cold into the warm time. You can see the springtime trees are starting to bud, have some nice leaves on them, some nice flowers as well. Unfortunately, some pollen too. So if you do have allergies, I guess this is your public service announcement for pollen. watch out, keep up on your allergy medicine if you can, because the pollen will be back in full force once the rain starts to stop. The rain suppresses the pollen just a little bit, but that is just a point of spring. Now, the National Weather Service and NOAA released their latest forecast for the spring season for the next 3 months. Now, this is a very broad forecast talking about precipitation and temperature. Now, they are expecting that above average temperatures are going to be expected in the Northeast, some parts of Florida as well, and the Northwest parts of the United States. So we're talking about Washington into parts of Seattle, New York, Maine, all across the northeastern corridor. We could see above average temperatures for this time of year. Now, below average temperatures could be felt in parts of the Midwest near Texas, Oklahoma, even into Kansas and Nebraska. A little bit below average there. Now, we're not talking about every day being warm, maybe a couple cold snaps here and there, but really above average as a whole and below average as a whole in Texas. Now, precipitation, what are we talking about there? Above average in parts of the south, most of the south really. We're going to see a little bit more of the effects of the El Nino pattern in here, bringing up a lot of moisture into the south and possibility of some enhanced severe weather threats as we get into severe weather season. Now, we'll be watching that a lot more over the next couple weeks here in FSU weather because we are getting into that severe weather season. But now I'm going to take us on out to the wall for a quick look at the local forecast here. Current conditions, and pretty much that picture describes it perfectly, are rainy. We're starting to see some peaks of sun here and there across campus. I saw it as I was driving here to the studio earlier, but the rainy conditions were really dominating most of the day. We did see that severe thunderstorm warning in our area, and we see it right here. Overcast conditions are in effect for parts of Tallahassee. 72 degrees. Winds are pretty calm right now, and the radar, here it is. It's lighting up like a Christmas tree. I think it got the memo. It was St. Patrick's Day. All this green here, those are just light showers, but we were watching some of these isolated cells, especially near Apalachicola, brought about a ½ inch of rain down there. Even parts west of, or east of there rather, that's what the severe weather did come from. Let's look at those current conditions across the Big Bend region. Really carbon copy everywhere you go. 70s, low 70s, a little bit of rain-cooled air in Perry, that's at 68 degrees. Really much of the same across the board. Not too hot, not too cold. The wind's really not adding to much of that at all. Only 3 out of the southwest here. In Carabel, it's a little bit warmer. Mariana, that's where we're seeing a couple showers, increase that rain chance just a little bit. Let's look ahead here. A stalled stationary front across the southeast right now. That's what's causing the forcing mechanism here for these showers and storms to develop. We got a subtropical jet stream starting to move in, and that's really this cable that brings in all of this rain, kind of like a pipeline for all of the moisture in the region. And then this front that's stalled out, that's just that mechanism to create those showers and lift them up. As we go into Friday, look at that. The Friday forecast not looking too good, especially Friday night. Could be a rainy one. So if you are heading out for a night on the town, watch out. It could be a little bit rainy. Bring the umbrella or the rain jacket. Rainy conditions are setting in across Florida. You can see that right here. Saturday morning, rain sticking around just a little bit. I'm not expecting, or that was Saturday night rather. Saturday night, late night Saturday into Sunday is when we could see this start to kick on through the area. Tonight's forecast, though, 80% chance of rain. Showers, numerous showers at that could be possible. A humid night, 60s across most of the region, especially in the lower 60s. I don't think we're going to see 50s tonight. And then tomorrow, it'll be a nice day. Won't be hot in terms of temperatures, but rain, it's going to be around. Wind, not so much, but the rain will be there. So if you are heading to class on Friday as well, could be a dreary day. 90% chance of rain, 70s across the area for tomorrow. Let's look at the day planner real quick, break it down for you. 8 a.m. cloudy, 12 p.m. cloudy, 5 p.m. cloudy. It's pretty much the same all throughout the day. We don't like to be a Debbie Downer here, so we're going to tease a little bit with our next 5 days to show you that things will be clearing out. Look at this. Monday and Tuesday, the first day of spring is on Sunday. That's when we transition into the cooler and drier conditions, and Monday and Tuesday are looking gorgeous to begin the week tomorrow. Now, those sunny conditions will return once we get through these couple of rainy days and dreary days, Friday and Saturday. But now we're going to be looking a little bit further at the severe weather chance with Andres.
Well, actually, we're going to take a look at the national right quick, guys, because the current conditions across the country, we have 52 in Boston, 53 in Detroit. There's a little bit of a stationary front that's sitting right above here, and that explains a little bit of the differences between as you go a little bit farther south and a little bit farther north into Canada, because as you can see, it's 37 in Minneapolis. But for the most part, the majority of the country is sitting pretty warm for today, as only the northern states are experiencing any kind of chilly weather as we speak right now. But here in Tallahassee, as we can see, it's 72. And back in my hometown of Memphis, they're sitting at 69 degrees right now. So 24-hour temperature change, you can see you have a big pop of blue right here. And the reason why behind that is because, well, we have a lot of rain associated with the stationary front that's causing all these clouds to pop up. And you know what, when we have clouds, it doesn't allow the sun to, come through onto the ground and heat up the surface. So we have a little bit of a cool area right here. But for the most part, the rest of the country is seeing a little bit of a warming trend compared to yesterday at this time. As you can see it over here in Tallahassee as well. But as I move over here to this side of the screen over here, we can see the well-defined stationary front right over here in this middle part of Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, and especially Mississippi right now. They have a lot of storms that are popping up along the stationary front. And like I explained earlier, it's because of this polar jet that's kind of dipping down right here like this. And also we have the subtropical jet that's lifting up, and they're kind of converging right along, a little bit lower, right over here, and it's causing a lot of this lift that's going on. But as we go a little bit further north, we can see that there's a stationary front, a little bit, we have a low pressure system along with the stationary front up here that's causing some of this snow. Yes, we're talking about snow still, guys, because it is still it's still very cold as farther north you go. But for the most part, the rest of the country is sitting really pretty. There's nothing really going on as far as major weather, other than just the southern part. But as we zoom in a little bit farther north, we can see where this low pressure system is sitting at, and it's causing some storms and some snow for our northern neighbors over there in Minneapolis and farther north into Canada. But as we zoom on south down over here again, we can see the storms that came by earlier here in Tallahassee and the current storms that are going right now in Jackson, Mississippi, that passed by in northern Louisiana, and they're going heading east as we speak. They're strong. There's a lot of moisture to play with. So if you have any family over there, please tell them to pay attention to the Weather Channel or the radio or anything. Just please pay attention, because these storms are strong. They're going to pack a lot of punch. So make sure they stay safe. Warnings and watches. We have a lot of flooding going on right here in Louisiana and the Mississippi River Valley going on mainly because of the past rain that we've received, and also all this rain that's coming down right now. Next 48 hours, it's going to be 60 here in Memphis, 65 in Atlanta, 73 in New Orleans. But as we move on for the next couple of days, we can see that we have a little bit of airport delays here in New York, 39 minutes. But for tonight, it's going to be 62 in Tallahassee, 48 in Memphis. And for tomorrow, it's going to be 65 in Memphis, 78 in Tallahassee. But the rest of the country is going to be looking pretty nice. But I'm going to pass it off to the desk to Shane.
Thanks, Andres. With all the rain coming through our region today, tomorrow, and into the weekend, one topic we wanted to bring to everyone's attention is not just tornado safety, which is important in the spring, but what everyone's going to have to deal with over the next few days. If you own a car, you're going to have to drive in the rain. And that can bring up a few hazards that a lot of people aren't aware of. For starters, one of the fundamental rules of the road is that if you need to turn on your windshields, you need your headlights on. That's very important because the rainfall can obscure the visibility of your fellow drivers. And especially if you have a gray or dark colored vehicle, they might not be able to see you, so those headlights are a must. As for using your pedals on the wet roadways, if there's any rainfall at all, enough to slicken the roads, then please drive slowly, because if you drive too quickly, your brakes might not be able to react in time, which really makes it difficult to stop when you're trying to brake on wet roadways. We don't want anyone to be hydroplaning either, which can happen if you're driving too quickly through any amount of standing water. Even just a few centimeters can reduce the grip that your tires have on the asphalt. Anyway, moving past that, we also want to, of course, address the possibility of standing water on the roadways. We know that it's cliche to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. Turn around, don't drown. If you can't tell how deep that water is, or if you have any doubts, just don't drive through it. Do yourself a favor and take the few extra minutes that might be saving the life of yourself or your passengers. So, in review, turn around, don't drown. Keep those headlights on if you need to. And if there's any doubt, take it slow on the roads while it's raining. Now we're going to send it out to Matt for a look around Florida.
Thank you, Shane. Turn around, don't drown is a message we preach every day, and I think it's a good one because it's got a nice little ring to it, but it's very important that people do that, because so many times people will drive into puddles that are not puddles. They end up being oceans. So watch out for those puddles. Sunshine State right now, really living up to its name. You can see right here where it starts to turn a little bit more red on the colors. Those are those warmer temperatures being indicated here, and that's where we see more of that sunshine. We have a lot more cloud cover and rain here where we have those lighter colors indicating the cooler temperatures. So you can almost see right where that cloud cover does disappear, and actually confirms it here on satellite and radar. You see the warmer temperatures where there's less cloud cover, cooler temperatures where there's more cloud cover and rain. And that's all associated with this stalled frontal boundary I did touch on a little bit in the local forecast. But really a big thing we want to talk about here is these 24-hour temperature changes. Look at Jacksonville and Tallahassee and Pensacola. Near 14-degree difference between this time yesterday. So it was warm yesterday, the sun was out, so we saw that as well. Different factor today, we don't see that sun very much here. Current dew point across the area, 60s and above, except for Palm Beach and Fort Myers, they're just a tick below 60. This is really showing how humid it is in the atmosphere, how moist it is in the atmosphere, especially down, even if you're traveling out to Nassau. We never give Nassau any love on these graphics. Look at that, 68-degree dew point here in Nassau. And really, what does this mean? It means that it feels a little bit frizzy out there. So girls, watch out for the frizzy hair. I'm going to give the frizz factor an 8, increasing to a 10 as it rains. Wind speeds out of the south in Pensacola at 10. That's going to be our strong area. Over the peninsula, a little bit more of that sea breeze coming off the Gulf, 12 miles per hour here. Almost calm with 3 and a little bit variable at times, but primarily from the southwest. Here's those futurecast temperatures right now sitting around 7 p.m. in the 70s and in the upper 60s. Overnight tonight, though, we're going to see those temperatures go down into the 60s. I don't think we're going to see any 50s over the area. Maybe some 70s down here in closer down to the coast. Miami, you're going to be a warm one. It's going to be a warm and humid one. Soupy, if you want to call it that. A little soupy out there. That is a good word for it. Friday afternoon, 70s here in Tallahassee across the peninsula. We start to see the rain start to influence a little bit more. Less so in Fort Myers, where they're calling for 85 degrees. That's where we're going to see a little bit more of the sunshine as opposed to places like West Palm and Miami. A little bit more into Saturday. Another cool down, almost a carbon copy of Friday. Rain chances are there, but slowly diminishing on Friday or Saturday afternoon rather. And then once again on Saturday, we're seeing those temperatures rebound into the day as well. Tonight's forecast, though, across the state, really 69 in Miami, 62 in Tallahassee, 60s fest except for Key West. Oh, that rhymes. 74 degrees down to the Keys. Now across the rest for tomorrow, warm day down the rest of the peninsula where the cloud cover is set in. We have 70s as well. And then Saturday's forecast, the weekend forecast, there it is for the state. If you are heading out of town, 80s and rainy for much of the area. Now we're going to send it on over to, we're going to send it to Andres for a local or solo desk.
Thank you, Matt. You keep sending me a lot of things to talk about my way. Well, you know what? Keep doing it because I'm going to keep talking about it. But continuing on with the heavy rain that's going on here in the south, if we looked earlier in the week, we noticed, would have noticed that a lot of rain was dumped along the Mississippi River area, especially here in the south. And that caused a lot of flooding over the days. And it also caused the Mississippi River to rise and stage. So it hasn't been enough time for the flooding to go down or to secede a little bit. And I say that to bring this up because we have a storm system right now that's stalling across the southern part of the country right now. And if you noticed earlier, it rained pretty heavy. And if you've been watching this right now, it's going to keep raining for the next couple of days. And not just here in Tallahassee, it's mainly across the whole southern parts of the country, along East Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi. These parts of the country are going to receive a lot of rain for the next couple of days. And that's very dangerous because since most of the creeks, local creeks, rivers, especially the Mississippi, all the tributaries that go into the Mississippi, they haven't had enough time for the waters to go down. So all this rain that's coming, please let your families out there know that we have more storms coming along the way. As we can see into tomorrow, it's going to be a perfect setup as far as cold air coming in from the north, cooler air, excuse me, coming in from the north. And we also have very, very humid air coming in from the south thanks to the subtropical jet below us that's starting to creep its way up north towards us. And this convergence that's happening right along this station is causing a lot of moisture and a lot of lift to come to happen along the stationary front. And as you noticed earlier, there was a lot of rain, especially right now in Louisiana and heading off into Mississippi. So please, folks, if you have any family over there along those areas, especially here also, we're expecting at least 3 to 5 inches of rain for the next couple of days along the I-10 corridor and for the north. So please make sure you keep that in mind if you have family around the area. But for right now, I'm going to pass it back to Shane at the wall.
Thanks, Andres. What we're going to do first is take a look at the temperatures that we saw in Tallahassee today on this St. Patrick's Day. We started off with a mild low of 66 degrees and only climbed up to a high of 73 today in the capital, well below the record high that was set just last year, but hovering just about average today. It may have seemed a little warmer than the 70s, though, given all the humidity that was making it quite sticky out there. But as we stand right now, we're still about 70 degrees here in Tallahassee and across all of North Florida from Panama City out to Pensacola. And this stripe of yellow on the map, if you can make it out there, that's cooler temperatures due to all the cloud cover and rain. And right on cue, here's that cloud cover and these bright colors indicating all the rainfall across the Gulf Coast right now associated with a stationary front that's moving along through our region. Brought us lots of rain this afternoon in Tallahassee. Well, things have cleared up for now. You've got to keep those umbrellas handy. If you don't have an umbrella, get one because you're going to need it. The winds are coming out of the south right now, and they're dancing around on the south side of this stationary front, pushing a lot of moisture off of the Gulf of Mexico and really fueling those storms. Out beyond the front, though, in Montgomery and Meridian, the winds are coming out of the north. And once this thing takes its time getting out of our region, cooler air from the north will follow with clearer skies in the days ahead. But before we get there, we need to wait for this stationary front to clear out of the way. And as its name implies, it's not going to be clearing out very quickly. It's going to be hovering over our region, just sort of idling on the doorstep of North Florida and bringing with it lots of rain throughout the weekend. We can see from New Orleans along to Tallahassee through a lot of South Alabama all day tomorrow and into the weekend on Saturday. So if you've got a lot of studying to do, this is a great weekend for it. If you've got any outdoor plans, you might want to consider having a plan B and moving them indoors, at least if they're early on Saturday, because that stationary front is going to take until about then to get out of our way. As for the beach tomorrow, again, it's very, very rainy tomorrow, not a very good day. We're going to see some slight chop associated with the storms moving through our region. But for tonight in Tallahassee, again, a low of 62 degrees. It's going to be humid. The frizz factor will be high, as Matt said, and you're going to need your rain gear. Same thing goes for tomorrow, where we climb to a high of 76 degrees. As for the week ahead, we see that rain last through the weekend with sunny skies next week. Let's throw it back to Matt and Becca at the desk.
All right, thank you very much, Shane. We're going to round out the St. Patrick's Day show
Yes.
with a couple of safety tips for tonight.
Yes, the Seminole Express will be from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., so they're going an extra hour.
Yes. You can also always catch the Knoll Cab tonight if you do need that ride home. It's $5 with an FSU card, and that's from 12 p.m. to 4 a.m.
That's awesome. Then you always got the Night Knoll that goes till 3 a.m.
Yep, and one more, the Gotcha Ride, and that's all day until 3:30 a.m. That's a funny name, and it's free. So always
Free
take
is
advantage of
always
those.
good.
Yeah, take advantage of those rides, and take advantage of next week, Monday through Tuesday, or Wednesday even.
Yeah, definitely Monday through Tuesday into Wednesday. And even Thursday isn't looking too bad. Really hot, but not looking too bad.
No, not at all. It's Monday, a little bit cool with the passage of all this rainy mess once it gets kicked out of the way with that cold front coming through on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm liking those temperatures.
Me too. You know what else I like?
Social media.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Facebook.com/FSU Weather, Twitter.com/FSU Weather, and livestream.com/FSU Weather. We're everywhere, and you can catch us anytime on there.
Yes, I have never watched live stream, but I heard it's really awesome.
Hey, it's cool. We got great quality stuff on there. There's even a chat room. You can interact with everybody as well.
Interesting.
Yep, it's very fun indeed. And that's it for tonight, though. We'll see you tomorrow.